YouTube, be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice. It's all waiting for you over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday. Every Monday, we are live right here on YouTube, hanging out with all of you, talking about the most important thing in the whole wide world, which, of course, is going on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Thank you for joining us here. Be sure to I don't know where I was going with that. My brain went all gone. But thank you for joining us here. Happy Monday, and we're going to get a lot of questions today. But the most important question is, how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. My next countdown is a while away. We're at 48 days until we go on Serenade of the Seas to Alaska. That's right. We're headed to Alaska this year for 2 weeks on Serenade of the Seas to go there. I am so excited. Never been on Serenade, but more importantly, we're going to Alaska. Very excited. But that's like 6 weeks away. Oy vey. What am I going to do for 6 weeks? I guess we'll talk cruising in between then and there. We had a super chat come in already, and that is from Grumpy and V. Grumpy and V, thank you for your generosity to start us off today. We're 16 days out from our Navigator cruise. Why does the app show some of the reservations, like our dining package and Voon purchase, but not others, like the refreshment or spa package? Freaking me out a little bit. I'd be a little freaked out too, quite frankly. I'm not sure. Now, you mentioned the app. Are you looking on your phone in the Royal Caribbean app? I wouldn't do that before the cruise. Your purchases that matter are when you log on to the Royal Caribbean website and go to the cruise planner. If they're showing in there, you're good. No problems at all. In the app, don't worry too much about that. But if you're seeing the same thing in the cruise planner, in your order history, I might be concerned you didn't actually buy what you think you bought. So I double check that just to be safe. I don't have enough. If you did buy them all, then I have no idea why that's the case. It's a good question. Josh Carruthers coming in with an epic slap your grandma. It's that good of a super chat. Woo! Thank you, Josh. Happy Monday. 97 days of the amazing Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise on Mariner of the Seas. Dude, yes, we've got a group cruise coming up in July on Mariner of the Seas. 8 nights. I love that. I'm so excited for that cruise, Josh. It's going to be, I'm obviously very excited for Alaska, but whenever there are friends involved, I'm even more excited about that. Thank you, my friend, for your generosity. Congratulations, Josh, on your recent work stuff. So, Cruise on Top wants to know, how do you get a cruise? How do you get a cheap cruise? It's a great question. And honestly, I could spend like hours talking about this, but there's a couple of things you want to do. Number one, you want to book as early as you can. Number two, are you talking about you want a cheap price out the door, or do you want a cheap price per night? Those are two usually different things. They're somewhat mutually exclusive. Not necessarily the case, but they tend to be. What I mean by that is there are ways to get a cheap 3-night cruise, which will probably be cheap in the here's your final price cost, as opposed to, maybe a 7, 10, 14-night cruise in which the per night cruise is cheaper than the 3-night cruise. But regardless of which one you want to book as early as you can. The earlier you book the cruise, the better your price will be. If you can book your cruise 12, 16, 18, 24 months ahead of time, you can really net some amazing prices. I think that's number one. Number two, you want to keep watching them for deals. People cancel all the time. Prices can change hourly, by the minute, in fact. So, we want to keep an eye on that. And that's why one of my favorite strategies is book early and then reprice often. Take advantage of price drops before your cruise. Granted, some countries don't allow this anymore, with Cruise with Confidence program being gone, but something to keep in mind, especially if you're from the United States or Canada. That's an option there for you. But a lot of it is really just also timing, cruise, when you go on your cruise. There are much better deals during the times of year in which no one else can cruise. The month of January, outside of New Year's holiday, as aside from that, is an incredibly cheap time to go on a cruise. The month of September, the month of October, the first 2 weeks of February, the first 2 weeks of December. What do those all have in common? Kids are back in school. There's less demand for them. So there you go. Okay, so Grumpy and V, a little feedback here. Totally showing in the cruise planner. Good to go. Love that. Sharon Stockman is here. 243 days till a back-to-back on Wonder. Awesome. Carrie B, thank you for the super chat. Greetings from the Mason Jar. I've got a PB&J Old Fashioned waiting for you. Honey, I gotta go. I gotta go like right now. Okay. I'm just going. I miss me some Mason Jar right now. Holy moly, I could go for one right now. Oh, not only is the drink amazing there, not only is the band amazing. Carrie, say hello to the trio out there. Love Brian, Jeff, and Diego. They're extremely talented, but say hi to the amazing bar staff over there. They were wonderful. Oh, I'm so jealous. But thank you for the super chat. You made me extremely jealous in snap of the fingers. So let's see here. We got a lot of people checking in. Hello, Janine. Hello, Mystery Shadow. Andrew, Mike Leslie, welcome. Leave me on the ship. I love the name. Best place to go for the casino bar atmosphere in Aruba, close to the ships. For a casino bar, I have no idea. Usually people go to Aruba, they go to Palm Beach or Eagle Beach. I am not familiar with the casinos in Aruba. I'm sorry to say. Dave Lucas, good morning, or good, yeah, it's good morning, right? Welcome. Eric Peterson wants to know, can I check in sooner than the time provided? Not right now, Eric. As of right now, they are enforcing the check-in time. So the check-in time you get is the time you should anticipate getting there. Eric Floyd, thank you for the super chat. 53 days Independence. Best place to park at Port Canaveral? At Port Canaveral. Park at the port. The convenience factor is worth it. I'm not a fan of offsite parking. It doesn't save you that much money. It requires you to take a shuttle, and those bus shuttles are always slow, and it's someone else's schedule. And when the cruise is over and you just want to go home because you're groggy, you're upset the cruise is over, and somebody on the mason jar is telling you that they got a drink waiting for you, but you got to go home, you just want to get in your car and go and not wait for a shuttle. So I definitely recommend parking at the terminal. It's definitely the way to go. Mark just made platinum. Congratulations. I am at Diamond Plus, my friend. Diamond Plus. Kathy Crandell, thank you for the super chat, Kathy. Ovation of the season, 95 days and Alaska. Kathy, you're going to have an awesome time. By the way, first of all, thank you for the generosity. Second of all, after this broadcast, go to royalcaribbeanblog.com/Alaska. It's our clearinghouse of Alaska content. There's a lot of new articles up there, Kathy. So check that out. Is Shannon having a fireball shot? I mean, I don't like fireball, but gosh, I kind of miss Shannon. I don't miss fireball, but I miss having drinks with Shannon. So Danny DiMatteo's question for us is it time sensitive on the negative COVID test, or is it just 2 days before sailing, no matter what? 2 days before sailing. Great question, Danny. When Royal Caribbean says you need to get tested 2 days before your cruise, if you're vaccinated, that means 2 calendar days. Doesn't matter, Danny, what time of day. You're just, as long as the calendar day is 2 days beforehand, you are good to go. Ainsley, thank you, Ainsley, for your super chat. Did Odyssey 2 weeks ago. Awesome junior suit, I'm still an Oasis class guy. Now 342 slow burn till Oasis. Ainsley, your countdown is almost as bad as the Teresa McShane's countdown. That's unacceptable. Book another cruise. That's the only reasonable thing to do right there. Marlena's got a question for us. Heard you can do one refresher package and one deluxe member package if you call. Do they ever say no? They never say no. I've never had any issues, or heard of any people having issues that Marlena. So just give them a call. I think you'll be good to go. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you enjoyed the recaps and you're able to be here live. As you guys probably all know, we do these lives every Monday. And then Wednesday, we have a recap of the lives. But while the recap is, quick and right to the point, you miss out on being here. So I can say, hi, Tom. That's the part that you're missing right there. John wants to know, how far is the terminal from Symphony of the Seas? It's right adjacent to them. So the terminal in Miami is right next to, connects to the cruise terminal, Terminal A in Miami. So very convenient right there. Horatio, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Matt. Great talking to you. Cruising on Liberty of the Seas this Sunday. Awesome. How crowded are the ships right now? Thank you very much and best regards. Good question, Horatio. So there's a couple factors in play. The cruises right now, the capacity has been going up. I was on Oasis of the Seas, Horatio, on the 3-night cruise over the weekend. Granted, weekend cruises are different, 7-night cruises, but we were at 92% capacity. And when I was on Wonder of the Seas, we had pretty high capacity as well. So those numbers are going up. But also keep in mind a couple factors. Number one, spring break is on the downswing. This is the last full week of spring break. Once you get to Easter, spring break is over. And of course, what happens on Liberty out of Galveston may be different than what's happening here in Florida and a variety of other places. So there's no way to know exactly what to expect. But here's what I will say, Horatio. I would not expect to go on Liberty of the Seas on Sunday with like 50 or 60% capacity. You're probably going to be in that 70 to 90% if I had to guess. But I don't have no one knows ahead of time. Until you get on board the ship, you simply won't know what to expect on your sailing. Let's see here. Anna was supposed to go on Harmony, but my husband ended up with someone around issues. Oh, rebooked for October 23. I wonder how soon do packages open up? Thanks. Great question, Anna. Usually you can find things to purchase for your cruise, roughly speaking, 6 to 9 months ahead of time. The answer to your question is it depends, but roughly speaking, 6 to 9 months ahead of time, you'll be good to go. Kay, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate your generosity. Thank you to everybody for the super chats already. Very much appreciated. Thank you all. Hi, Matt. I see on the roll site it says rapid antigen test accepted, but on CVS.com it says not accepted for travel next to the rapid antigen help. Oh, don't worry about that. That CVS is like outdated. Like they're thinking for travel, Kay. They're assuming you want to like fly somewhere to like the UK or somewhere like that. That don't pay any attention to that. You can absolutely, positively use the rapid antigen test at CVS for cruise ship travel test that will satisfy the requirements as long as you're fully vaccinated. So not to worry at all there. Thank you for your generosity. Beth Wolf took husband and I have 4 cruises booked over the next 2 years, and he just on how to keep planning of everything straight. Thanks for all you do. Beth, I would say Excel spreadsheets are probably the go-to solution for this, whether you use Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets or whatever you want. A spreadsheet is the easy way to do it. That way you can have tabs based on sailings and excursions and whatnot. I find like that's a really good idea. I'd love to know in the chat here, what's everybody's favorite strategy for keeping their cruises straight? If you have, like Beth here, a number of cruises to plan in advance. Hey, Joshua, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Alaska in July, we're stopping at Ice Stray Point. We don't have any excursions for Ice Stray Point. 2 kids, 12 and 10. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Yeah, so we're going to Ice Stray Point in end of May, Josh. So I have some excursions booked. I'll let you know what we end up doing over there. I think Ice Stray Point we're doing this one like canoe or kayak type excursion there. Anyway, I'll have reviews of it over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com a little closer to our sailing so you can get an idea, or right after our sailing, but before your sailing, of what to do. I would tell you this, Josh. It behooves you in Alaska, in my opinion, to book excursions in advance, well more in advance than the Caribbean. Things do sell out there. So if there's anything that looks kind of interesting, it'd be a good idea to book it up. Thank you for your generosity, my friend. Carson wants to know, what would you say is the best thing to do on Allure of the Seas, the most fun? Well, shoot. I mean, it depends what you define as fun, I guess. Some people, I mean, you've got the zip line. You've got Mamma Mia, the Broadway musical. I love that. I'd probably lean towards Mamma Mia. Here we go again. My. Anyway, you've got awesome dining on board. You've got the flow rider. So it kind of depends what you define as fun. But I think seeing Mamma Mia is definitely the top of my list right there. Jen from Connecticut. We love our friends from Connecticut. Can those in a junior suite board through the suite check-in, or do you go through the regular check-in line? No, that counts. You'll actually see, you should see, Jen, if you're close enough to do your check-in, in your set sail pass, it will say suite over there. So yeah, you're good to go for that aspect, which is awesome. Nat wants to know, are unvaccinated kids allowed off the ship on port days? Yes, Nat, they changed that policy back in the end of February, so you are good to go. Kaylin wants to know, what's Brilliance of the Seas like? I went on Brilliance of the Seas every year. I just went on Brilliance back in early February, late January. Loved it. It was fantastic. You know, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles like of the bigger ships, but it's a fun ship to go on. Ken, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you here, but I will keep an eye out from Ken Bishara. Oh, there it is. There's Ken's message. If I have 2 rooms adjoining balconies, can I participate in Royal Up? You can, but not the way you're at. You're asking me if I place a Royal Up bid for both rooms, will they stay connecting or adjoining? And the answer is no. Royal Caribbean doesn't have a mechanism for this. So if you replace Royal Up bids, you may get new rooms, but they're not necessarily going to be next to each other. So if that's important to you, then I would not recommend that. Tim Gallagher has 0 sympathy for me. Wonder Oasis. Oh, no. He asked the question. I thought you were calling me out for complaining I was not on the ships. Anyway, Wonder or Oasis have been on both this month. Oh, well, it's Wonder. I mean, it's the newest ship in the fleet. I mean, how can you ever go wrong with the new hotness, right? But I had a great time on Oasis. Really, really nice time. Kristen, thank you for the super chat. We have an 8-night Bermuda cruise on Mariner. Was wondering if you have any suggestions for the 3 days Dr. Bermuda. Yeah. So day 1, I would go to Horseshoe Bay. That's the pink sand beach. Take a bus over there, the public bus. Horseshoe Bay, number 1. Number 2, day 2. Take the water taxi over to Hamilton and explore. Hamilton's the city there. It's a beautiful city. shopping, dining, do a little bit there. And then day 3, you have a couple of choices. If you want to do some history, some culture, I take the ferry up to St. George. Otherwise, you go to hit up another beach. That might be a good way to do it right there. Susan Lieberman, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Just got off Wonder on Friday. It was a great cruise. All the entertainment was great. They even brought a singer that sang Broadway songs. Yes, Jennifer Singer. She's amazing. We saw her on Wonder as well. Ate at Mason Jar, Chops, and Izumi, my new favorite ship. You know, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know any better, I could have written this exactly, and I would have agreed with everything there. It's a wonderful, wonderful time on Wonder. Loved it. Susan, thank you for sharing your thoughts. And, of course, thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate you. Eric Moyer, my man. Woo! Thank you for the super chat. Matt, I took your advice and booked early. It was such a good price. I booked an owner's suite on Adventure. What perks can I expect the owner's suite? Well, priority embarkation, bigger room. You'll get upgraded toiletries in your cabin. You probably already knew all that. The concierge lounge is where you're really talking about, Eric. You're going to have access to the concierge lounge, which means also access to the concierge themselves. So that means complimentary drinks. And when I say drinks, I'm talking about non-alcoholic and alcoholic drinks every day of the cruise. You're also going to have access to special seating, reserved seating on the pool deck. So there you go. Let's see here. Michael Youssef wants to know, does the bill at the end of the cruise break down who specifically used my credit card through the room card and how much? Yes. You can see a breakdown there, and then you can yell at whoever booked it. Yeah. And you can do that the entire time, Michael. You can always go to guest services and get a breakdown like that. In fact, you can see it in the Royal Caribbean app now, which is really, really helpful. Next question. We got a lot of super chats coming in, so I want to make sure we're catching up there because I'm way behind on them. Anal, thank you for the super chat. 70 days till freedom, 482 till ovation. Nice. And we have some more super chats coming in. The Teresa McChain. Thank you for the super chat. Woo! Appreciate you. I have a 5% chance I might be pulling a cruise next month. Pretty unlikely. So you are right. November is unacceptable. The moon, the stars have to line up. Teresa, when I heard you didn't have a cruise until November, I was utterly shocked. I have faith you're going to be able to pull a Josh Carruthers and say, I don't have any more vacation time. And then bam, you're on a cruise ship again. It can be done. Josh is proof of that. All right, so people talk about too many cruises, how they handle it. Sua uses Excel. Bobby uses a file folder for each one. So you got some. And of course, Becky Menken from MEI Travel is here. What's up, Becky? Strategy. Use a great travel agent. Keeps it all straight for you. That's my secret as well, because I don't have time for all that stuff. Someone else does it for me. Love that. Love that. Love that. Maria Noble, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Matt. Any problems using iHealth Proctor COVID test or bring my favorite soda on board? Bring your favorite soda on board? No. You can bring up to 12 bottles or cans of it. That's fine. Bring it on embarkation day. Put it in your carry-on luggage. The iHealth Proctored COVID test, as far as I know, is not accepted by Royal Caribbean. The only one that I'm aware of that's accepted is the Abbott Binax Now AG home card test. I know that the iHealth is proctored, but until Royal Caribbean says it's acceptable, I can't tell you in good faith, Maria, you should rely on that. So I'm going to say no. But again, we'll wait. If that changes, I'll post about it at royalcaribbeanblog.com. Scary, great name. Thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message here from Scary, so I will keep an eye out for Scary. Oh, there it is. There, I see it right down there. Scary. 33 days to Oasis. Does using Next Cruise really save you the most on, well, your next cruise? Great question. It doesn't actually save you any money, and it's kind of weird. So the price you pay at Next Cruise, with Next Cruise is where you can book a cruise on board your ship. The price you pay online or on board is exactly the same at the time of booking. What Next Cruise gets you is extra onboard credit and a reduced deposit. So they'll give you free onboard credit. Now, if you're sitting on, you have 33 days till Oasis of the Seas. If you know today or tomorrow or next week that you want to book a cruise, I would tell you to contact your travel agent and book it then. But Scary, if you're on board Oasis in 33 days, you're having a great time, and you say, you know what, I would love to book another cruise right now, then yes, Next Cruise will get you free onboard credit. But don't wait to book it on board, because if you wait to book it on board, the price can go up. And if the price goes up, it can negate any potential savings you'd have with that onboard credit. So I just don't recommend waiting for that one. Pescatarian Gardner, I love these names tonight. How soon do you think we get info on the book on Icon? I think it'll be coming out here either this month or next month, from what I'm hearing from Royal Caribbean. Let's see on that. But we did an interview with Royal Caribbean Group Chief Innovation Officer Jay Schneider back in March, and he said the next 2 months we should have more information about Icon. So fingers crossed we'll be getting that soon. Mark wants to know, can you still get paper cruise compass in the stateroom? Yes. Most ships, the answer is yes. You may have to ask for it, but when we were on Oasis of the Seas, had no problem at all. So, Brett Brown, holy moly. Woo! Thank you for the epic slap your grandma. It's that good of a super chat. Woo! Thank you, my friend. I booked the Royal Caribbean Blog 2023 and 2024 group cruises. Hang on, we need a golf clap. What a guy. Stoked about it. I hear that you can make partial payments through our travel agent. Is that true? Can you shed any light on it? Yeah, so there's a brand new update that came out today. Brett, I posted about it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. It's right on our homepage. But Royal Caribbean announced if you book through a travel agent, which you already did because you used MEI Travel, thank you, you can arrange for scheduled payments. Now, Brett, this is not new in the sense that you could always make payments before your final payment date. That's not new. What's new today is you can actually schedule those payments. You can tell your travel agent, hey, schedule $500, $100, whatever, every week, month, whatever, at certain intervals, and they can schedule it to be automatic. And that's a tool for travel agents. It's a brand new thing, came out today, and there's more information about that at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So, yeah, if you want to pay off those group cruises incrementally and easily, your travel agent can do that very easily for you on your behalf. And you can change your mind later on. It's not like, if you need to rearrange things, no problem at all. Let's see here. Phoebe, thank you for the super chat. Any Genie tips? We want a 2-bedroom aqua theater suite for our Wonder of the Seas for 5 days. Awesome. Phoebe, there's an article that I wrote not too long ago at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Best ways for taking advantage of using a Genie. Yep. I'm going to post it in the chat, Phoebe, because it's just I could rattle it off here. I mean, basically, you want to ask for everything. You want to ask for everything. I posted it in the chat, Phoebe. Take a look for that. And I lost my place in line now. That's or not in line in where I was in the chat. That's okay. There I am. You want to ask for everything. Do not be afraid to ask. The worst they'll say is no, but it's amazing how much you get if you don't. So definitely do that. But check out that article. It'll give you a much better look at that. Thank you for your generosity. Jose, how do you feel they keep asking every day and every minute on the ship to buy a dining package? I think you're exaggerating. They don't ask every minute of the day. They do remind you. Jose, number one, a lot of people simply don't know it exists. They're unaware. There's a lot of ignorant folks on board who are unaware of these options that are there. Number two, it's a business. Listen, we love Royal Caribbean, but it's a business, and a simple no thank you is all you need to say. They're not very pushy about it, and I don't think it's quite nearly every minute, every day. If I hear about it more than twice on a 7-night cruise, it's pretty unusual. So, yeah. Let's see here. JC, what's going on? Tim Moore. Tim, thank you for the super chat. If you want to roll up on a Grand Span Liberty, are there any perks that go with it? Yeah, you still got all the perks. The one thing you don't get is if you moved up from a non-suite, like if you're from a balcony, you won't get double points for your cruise, but everything else is standard. Just like we were talking about that other suite on Adventure of the Seas, Concierge Lounge, access to the concierge, reserved seating in the pool deck. That still applies for you. Noah says, what would you recommend on Enchantment of the Seas? If you're looking for a great snack, the Park Cafe is definitely the place to go. Also, one of my good friends, Michael Poole, happy belated birthday, Michael, loves going to the Oasis Bar. It's a bar on the pool deck that views the ocean. He really likes that quite a bit. Edwin wants to know, I know I can only order one drink at a time per drink package. Can I order, for example, a beer and a shot and then pay for the beer right there? Usually the answer is yes. It depends on the bartender. Once in a blue moon, they say no. But generally speaking, if we say, hey, can I get, a round of shots and also a beer, they're pretty good about that. So, Betty Eakin, thank you, Betty, for the super chat. Appreciate it. I booked under double points, but only shows regular. Do you mean, Betty, you booked under double points, you went on your cruise, you're not getting double points? Or something else? If you went on your cruise and you booked it under the double points promotion when it was available and applicable, then you should probably talk to your travel agent about that. Other than that, I'm not sure where you're seeing that. Like, if you haven't gotten on your cruise yet, that it would not be the case. But yeah, you definitely want to double check with your travel agent. If that's, unfortunately, this is a scenario in which I can't give you the exact answer without knowing more information about it, Betty. But if you went on your cruise, you booked under double points, have your travel agent touch base with Royal Caribbean, say, hey, this should have been the case, and they can usually fix that up pretty easily for you. Andrew wants to know, what cruises sail from Cape Liberty? Anthem of the Seas sails out of there most of the time. Oasis of the Seas is coming up in May. That'll be offering summer cruises out of there. I know Adventure is coming out. It depends on the season, Andrew. but usually there's at least one ship sailing out of there, and that's almost always the Anthem of the Seas. Love that. Great questions here so far. Love that. Nicole, I think it's Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, thank you for the super chat. My husband and I are going on the Southern Caribbean ABC Islands in August on our first cruise on Mariner. Any must-do excursions or sites to see? In Aruba, you want to go to Palm Beach or Eagle Beach? Bonaire, I would rent a golf cart. You can Google Bonaire golf cart rentals and just drive around the island. It's a lot of fun. Curacao, I would go. You can walk downtown from your ship. You dock that close, do a little shopping, a little dining, and then go to Mambo Beach for the afternoon when it's a little too hot over there. So there you go. Next question. Davo-Man 2000 wants to know, what class ship will Icon be? It'll actually be its own class. It'll be the first of the Icon class. And I know what you're asking, Matt. What does that look like? What's different about that? We don't know yet. Royal Caribbean hasn't announced it yet. So stay tuned for that one. Faith wants to know, do you know what you can use a Royal Caribbean gift certificate can be used on? Your cruise fare. I don't recommend Royal Caribbean gift certificates. The redemption rules are ridiculous. And by ridiculous, I mean very, very stringent. So I don't recommend them. I know it's like a cool idea and it seems like it should be easy. It's not. The redemption rules make them a pain. If you already have one, okay, but use it for your cruise fare. But don't buy them in advance. Don't be like, hey, there's a friend or a family member going on a cruise. Wouldn't it be great to buy them a gift certificate? Yeah, no. Instead, give them give them cash and then write a little note, and be like, hey, this should have been a gift card, but the gift card stinks. So here's cash instead, but use it to be used on a cruise. Barbara Hawkins. Barbara, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Friday, I was at a Zoomie when you arrived, but unable to say hello because your hibachi presentation was beginning as I left. Oh, no, you should have said hello. A little, hey, Matt, that's all right. But Barbara, I hope you had a great time on Oasis of the Seas. Always like being able to say hello to folks. Thank you for your generosity, Barbara. Appreciate it. Michael wants to know, can I cruise with a U.S. birth certificate if I don't have my passport? If you're a U.S. citizen and you're cruising out of the U.S. on a closed loop sailing, something that begins in the U.S. and ends in the U.S., yes, you can. You also need to form a state ID like a driver's license. Let's see here. Next question is from Michael Skidmore, who wants to know, what ship of class should I try if I try Royal Caribbean in the future? If you're brand new to Royal Caribbean, Quantum or Oasis class. How does karaoke work on Royal Caribbean ships? It's free, complimentary. Just simply go into the venue when there's karaoke available. First come, first to sing, essentially. There's a book. You choose the songs, and you let them know, and you're good to go right there. Daryl, I missed your super chat. Oh, no. Where did I miss that? I'm sorry, Daryl. Daryl, you're right. Daryl, oh, my goodness. Daryl, man, I feel like a jerk. I'm going to blame Becky Mencken. I don't know why. Hold on. We're going back up, Daryl. Thank you for calling me out on that, man. Phoebe, you're before Phoebe. You're before Brett. I'm getting there, Daryl. I'm so sorry. Daryl, there you are. Daryl, thank you for the super chat. Sorry for missing it. It was nice meeting you on Oasis of the Seas. You were so right about Rel, Genie, Shane. He is the best. I ran into Daryl and his family. How many times have we run into each other, dude? Like 3-4 times. Wonderful family. And they had Shane as their royal genie, and they were pretty stinky. I mean, that's like the best genie in the fleet. So you spoiled yourself there. It was great meeting you. I wish we had a little more time to kind of chit chat, have some drinks together, but I'm sure that Shane was treating you very, very well there, and it was really nice meeting you. So hopefully we get to cruise again soon. And I hope you had a great time on there. It was a really, really quick cruise, but man, we had a good time on there. All right. Next question is from Luman22. For Anthem of the Seas, how strict are they with the smart casual in the concierge lounge? Can you walk in there in the morning, get coffee and shorts? Yeah. The dress code there is really for dinner, the evening hours. In the morning, no one cares. There won't even be anyone in there that'll care, but you'll be good to go. So, yep, no problem at all. By the way, Barbara, when you saw me, you probably saw Daryl as well because he was at the table with his family right next to us. So just pointing that out there. All right. Next question is from KSL. KSL, thank you for the super chat. Think about divorcing Disney. As someone who went through that already, do it. You'll thank me later. Which ships have bumper cars? Any of the Quantum class ships. Quantum, Anthem, Ovation, Spectrum, or Odyssey. Any out of Port Canaveral? No. Odyssey of the Seas sails out of Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades. But not out of the ones that have bumper cars don't sail out of Port Canaveral, but you do have Wonder of the Seas, which is the newest, biggest ship in the fleet. That's not a bad one to do that on. So thank you for your generosity, my friend. Daryl wants to know what do the concierge actually do for you? It's kind of like having a genie, Daryl. They can schedule dining, they can schedule entertainment, they can answer a lot of questions. They're kind of like your own guest services, right? But like, whereas a genie applies to you and a couple families, the concierge is more, it's for everybody who's staying in a suite right there. But they're very good. I mean, some are better than others, obviously, just like the genies. But they took care of all of our bookings ahead of time. They email you ahead of time. So it's just not as personalized as the Genie, but it's still an efficient way to plan your cruise and kind of have a little spiked up right there, like that. Jude, I'm going to get a drink of water here. 19 days on my back-to-back cruise on a lure question for you. If you do karaoke, do you get to keep your version that you sang in the booth? You know, that's a great question. You know, on Wonder and Oasis, they have a new upgraded karaoke bar and they have private lounge area. I am not sure, Jude. I don't know the answer to this one. You stumped me. I've never got this one before. I don't know if anyone in our chat knows the answer to this one, but I am completely stumped on this. I apologize. Thank you for your generosity with the super chat, but you got me. I don't know the answer to that one. Amelia, thank you for the super chat. First cruise on Oasis in May 2023 from New York. How safe are the ports and excursions for women traveling alone? It's a great question, Amelia. You know, obviously there is no place in the world that is risk-free. There are risks with everything. But I think what you want to do is book a group tour, a reputable tour. Certainly booking with a cruise line is a good idea. But, you know, make sure any tour you book is reputable. If you're going through the cruise line, you can assume that's the case. But if you're doing anything on your own, you know, you want to make sure that you're booking a reputable tour and that you're taking proper precautions. You're not doing anything that you wouldn't do in a U.S. city, quite frankly, if you were alone. So, you know, be vigilant about your safety. Book group tours if you're worried about it. That's probably a good way to go about it right there. Luca's going on a Wonder in 4 days. What are your favorite things to do on board? Oh, man, go to the Mason Jar, have the amazing food, drinks, and check out the band up there. I really like the shows on board. I mean, whether it's the Aqua Theater show, the main show, they're going to be adding effectors later this year. I mean, you got to see the shows, and the dining are really, really good. You're going to love it. Love it, love it, love it. Barry Sullivan wants to know, is there any way to earn Crown and Anchor points for other than nights at sea? Now, you got to go on a cruise to earn points. You can't buy points. You can't borrow points. You can't exchange points. So, yeah. Dave, thank you for the epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Dave. Question: we have a Voom stream package with the key on Harmony of the Oasis season June. What would you recommend for communication with each other at ports like Nassau? I don't know what habit is. Jamaica. Enjoyed your last video about it. So when you're in port, you're really reliant on either a cell signal or Wi-Fi in the particular ports there. So probably that's not going to be the case in most situations unless you pay through the nose for it. I mean, you could roam with your phone in ports, and that's something, but it's not necessarily an inexpensive option. Depends on your carrier and the roaming charges. I generally don't do that in that situation. I would just go offline until you get back on the ship. But if it's important to you, then roaming on land is a lot less expensive than roaming on a cruise ship. But check with your carrier for what the rates would be on that one. Sarah wants to know advice for going on a cruise in Alaska, and August will be too chilly and rainy. No, August is really the peak of what is summer in Alaska. Will it rain? Maybe, but rain is usually very quick up in Alaska. You know, the weather in general, Sarah, varies quite a bit. It may start off cold and rainy. Sun comes out. There's afternoon shower. The sun comes out again. It really runs the gamut. But no, it'll be, I think, in fact, you'll find it probably warmer than you're probably expecting, because July and August are the peak of the summer months up there. So the temperatures could get in the 70s, quite frankly. Larry, thank you for the super chat. 9 days till my transatlantic on Wonder ends in Barcelona, then flying back. U.S. still requires the test 1 day before the flight. Will they offer it on the ship? I don't know, Larry. I can't answer that question for you. That's maybe the thing with Royal Caribbean. My advice to you is make a plan to be able to do it on your own. Do not rely or assume you're going to rely on Royal Caribbean. Have a plan. Google it. Post about it somewhere. There is an answer out there. There's an option for you, whether it's in an airport or a pharmacy or an urgent care. There's going to be something there for you. And I would say the airport is where I would start first, Larry. I would look at going to the airport, getting a test there, because the airports have testing facilities. It may not be cheap, but it may be the best option, the easiest option off that. But I would definitely have a backup plan. Do not go on that cruise without a plan, my friend. That's the key right there. Kira wants to know, if I buy an internet package for one, can I switch back and forth between what device can I? Yep. If you buy a one device plan, just means one device at a time. may be connected. Gary Miola Jr. Gary, thank you for the super chat. Never found you in Oasis this weekend. No more empty ships like it was months ago, or no last for everything. Amen, brother. But I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to meet up, my friend. But hope you had a great time on board. And of course, Gary, thank you for your super chat. Really appreciate it. B Squared wants to know for Nassau, Bahamas. No. If your cruise is sailing from the U.S. and it's visiting the Bahamas, you don't have to do anything with the Bahamas and uploading. You're totally fine. Don't worry about that. You just need to do the pre-cruise stuff, which you already know about. But going to the Bahamas as a visit, and this applies to any country that you're visiting, unless at least in the Caribbean. The European protocol is still being sorted out. You don't need to do anything in advance, so you are good to go. You just ignore all that for the Bahamas. That's for people who really fly into the country. Sierra, thank you for the super chat. Heading on Independence for my very first cruise in May. Check-in starts tomorrow. What else should I do? What else do I need to do? Well, you want to obviously check in. You're already ahead of the game there. Do that tomorrow morning. Take care of that. You also want to, look at any pre-cruise purchases you can make, whether it's dining packages, drink packages. Basically, Sierra, if you book it now, you'll save money compared to waiting to book it on board. And shore excursions. So you're really looking at things you can purchase before the cruise. So things via Royal Caribbean and shore excursions, the two major things you want to be looking at to start planning now. Levita wants to know, should I be concerned? My cruise is showing a stop in La Roma, Dominican Republic, but there are no excursions being offered. To some extent, usually my answer to your question would be no. But when it comes to the Dominican, there's been a number of times Royal has scheduled cruises that stop there, and there's not actually, they don't actually go there. They've canceled like every stop that goes there for a while now. So I would just keep an eye on it until you get closer to your sailing. Eventually, if they do actually end up going there, something will show up to book. But don't make any plans that are, written in stone. Nothing that's non-refundable. And that would, of course, be plans, excursions you book on your own. I'm talking about. Nikki and Jay from Domino, just Nikki and Jay Domino Haywood. Thank you for the super chat. Recommended place to visit in Roatan and Costa Maya. Roatan, I'd recommend the Mayan Princess. It's an excursion and semi-all-inclusive. You can book through Royal Caribbean. Costa Maya, I'd recommend booking Maya Chan. That's not the Royal Caribbean. Just Google Maya Chan. You'll find it. That's a wonderful all-inclusive run by a couple of American expats. It's a great service. I love that too. So Roatan, Mayan Princess, Costa Maya, Maya Chan would be the way to go. Thank you for your generosity. Ariel, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you very, very much. I am looking for your message here, Ariel. I don't see one. Oh, no. I'm sorry, Ariel. I know sometimes it can be a little weird here, but I don't see the message, Ariel. Oh, there it is. I found it. I just had to scroll a bit. Hello, Matt and me, my family wanted to thank you for all your help you gave us through the blog. We just got back from our first cruise, Odyssey of the Seas. Absolutely wonderful. The food, the service. Awesome. Well, thank you for your generosity, Ariel. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear you had an awesome time on the Oasis of the Seas. It's a wonderful ship. Definitely the way to go right there. Jen Ash, thank you for the super chat. Roll Up says make sure my cruise is inside 30 days. It's 19 days away. Is that because I booked with a traveler instead of Royal Caribbean? No. How you book does not matter at all. Also, do you expect Easter sales and cruise planner? Yes, I think there will be one, Jen. There's sales every couple of weeks, and I suspect there will be one right around Easter. So if there is one, Jen, I'll post about it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for your generosity with your super chat. I really appreciate it. But no, if you Royal Up does not matter if you book through a travel agent or on your own. It's completely irrelevant. The manner in which you booked your cruise. Barbara wants to know, how do you place your request for soda water as your diamond gift? You want to call in for that. It used to be online, then they got rid of it. And anyway, you have to call the Crown and Anchor Society number and make the request there. Or you can wait till your next cruise and then speak to the loyalty ambassador on board, and they can put it in for you. And our next super chat is from Matt Hatter, 5283. Thank you for the super chat. Unable to find the answer online. My original roommate can't make it. How can I choose the name to a different person who's able to go? Is there a fee to do a name change? Great question. There is no fee to do a name change as long as one person from the original reservation remains on there. So in your scenario, you're on there. You want to swap out friend 1 for friend 2. There's no cost to do that. No problem at all. You just have to either talk to your travel agent, they can do it, or call Royal Caribbean and change the name. There'll be no price change if you're just swapping names. If you add somebody, like you go from 2 to 3 or 3 to 2 in your room, that can trigger a price change. But swapping names, not a problem. You can do that up to about like 48 hours before your cruise. I remember doing that with one of my wife couldn't go on a cruise. I brought a friend instead. And no problem at all right there. I think I'm caught up on the super chats. It's amazing. Thank you guys so much for your generosity tonight. My goodness. Mac, when we booked, I think Symphony of the season in June, my time dining was not available. Any tricks to getting it when we get on board? Yeah. Go down to the main dining room as soon as you get on board. Speak to the head waiter, maitre d', and ask to number one, ask if it can be changed. Usually they're pretty good about doing that once you're on board the ship. So I would say that's a good idea. Next question is from Jay. How is the high-speed internet on Harmony? Fantastic. Get the surf and stream. It'll be good enough to do most things while you're on board without any major issues, I would say. It works pretty well on the Oasis class ships. Mark Hamill wants to know. What's up, Mark? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Is there a diamond discount, especially dining? Does it depend on the ship? Diamond Plus, you get a BOGO deal. I don't think there is one, Mark. I think the answer is no, if memory serves me correctly. So let's see here. Gar Chomper, recommendations for Allure of the Seas? Go. Book it. It's wonderful. I see Mamma Mia. That's my go-to thing right there. Love that. Teresa's, by the way, go for the phone roaming idea. Verizon has the travel pass for $10 most foreign ports. Yeah, just check with your carrier because not everybody has the same plan. There's different rules out there. Don't assume anything. But thank you, Teresa, for sharing that. I think AT&T has something very, very similar as well. Joe wants to know what beach we recommend in Nassau. Cable Beach or Cabbage Beach if you want the most beautiful beach. There's not a lot of facilities there, but it's the most beautiful beach. Cable Beach or Cabbage Beach. If you're looking, Matt, I want to be able to go to a beach and get a drink, get some chairs and whatnot. You might want to go to Junkanoo Beach. That's a free beach, actually, as well. You can actually walk there from the cruise ships, but there's a lot more shopping and things to do over there, which makes it a little more crowded. Let's see here. Next question. Lori wants to know, is the pre-cruise testing all that's needed for cruising involving excursions to Canada, Victoria, British Columbia? We don't know yet for excursions, Lori. Royal Caribbean said when they released their Alaska excursion protocols, we don't yet have the protocols for excursions in Alaska, like your cruise stops in Victoria. Don't know it quite yet, but we're going to have that soon, I hope. So keep an eye out for that. A little more time before that happens. Let's see. Next question. Ooh, Daryl's going on the President's Cruise in 74 days. Nice, dude. Ryan Ladowski points out that you can also get Crown and Anchor points if you tie in a Royal Caribbean land excursion before or after your cruise. True, that's only in Alaska and maybe like random places in Europe they do. They're called cruise tours, but you can't that's still part of a cruise. You can't sit at home right now and earn more Crown and Anchor points other than actually going on a cruise, quite frankly. Elizabeth wants to know, do I have to be vaccinated to go on a cruise? Yes, you do. If you're 12 or older, Royal Caribbean requires everybody to be vaccinated on board. Next question is from Nicole has another question for us. By having the Voom stream package, does that prevent us from getting roaming charges from our mobile provider? Yes, with one exception. You still need to put your phone in airplane mode. So what you want to do, Nicole, is when you get on the ship, put your phone into airplane mode, number one. Then connect to the Wi-Fi with the Voom package you purchased, and then you're good to go. So if you want to use your phone, I think this is a scenario you're talking about. You want to be able to make phone calls, text while you're on the ship. Great. Buy the internet package now. Then when you get on board the ship, put your phone into airplane mode. That will disconnect you from everything. Then connect to the Wi-Fi, still in airplane mode. Connect to the Wi-Fi. And then if you have Wi-Fi calling enabled, which is a free feature for most carriers, you're good to go. You're off to the races. No problem at all. You can actually do this right now at home as a test, Nicole. You're on your home Wi-Fi. Put your phone in there. First of all, enable Wi-Fi calling at home. Then put your phone in airplane mode, connect to the Wi-Fi, and text or use a phone call. You'll see it'll still work. So just make sure that, again, when you say just a Voom package, no, you need to put your phone into airplane mode to prevent those crazy charges. So there you go. Next question is from Cole. On a balcony, can the partitions between adjoining rooms be removed upon request? It depends on the ship. Most ships, the answer is yes, but there are some ships in which the answer is no because it's physically not possible. So it depends on the ship. Most is yes. Robin wants to know, do you think at some point us unvaccinated people will ever be able to cruise? Ever? Yes. This year or next year, I don't see it, quite frankly, in my opinion. I don't know more than you do, Robin, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Braxton has our next question for us. Hey, Matt, if my wife is pregnant and we've already purchased a drink package, can we get a partial refund? No. What you can do, Braxton. Oh, I see what you're asking. Well, here's what you do. You want to call Royal Caribbean and say, hey, I have a drink package for me and my wife, but now my wife is pregnant. they'll allow your wife to get the Royal Refreshment package and refund you the difference right there. That should be how they should handle it. But yeah, give them a call. It's the only way around that, quite frankly. Jennifer wants to know, is a drink package worth it? I think so. I mean, it depends how much you drink. Obviously, if you're only like, if you drink 1 or 2 drinks a day, alcoholic drinks, then no, it's not worth it. But it can be worth it. It really depends on you and your drinking habits more than anything. So, Melinda wants to know, how strict are they with the pre-testing? Would I be able to get a test late Friday for a Monday cruise? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Time does not matter, Melinda. It's just a day of the week. The calendar day is all that matters. So if your cruise is on a Monday and you're fully vaccinated, you can get your test on either, I didn't read your timing. No, that will not work, Melinda. It will not work. I'm sorry, I didn't read the days here. Your cruise is on Monday. You may get your test on either Saturday or Sunday. Friday would not work. The only people able to get a test on Friday would be unvaccinated children below the age of 12. But for you as an adult, I'm assuming, a vaccinated person, it would be Saturday or Sunday, 2 calendar days. So apologies for misreading that off the bat, but hopefully that makes some sense there. Let's see. Next question. I missed Gail's super chat. Oh no, Gail, I'm going back. Thank you, Teresa. Sorry, Gail. Sorry. See Matt Hatter. I see Jen. I see Gail. Man, I'm really bad at this. I'm out of practice. Gail, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Matt, cruising in Oasis in June. Traveling with my sister. Can we use separate credit cards on our CPAS cards? You can. So here's what you can do. When you do the check-in, it'll give you that option. But even if you forget to do that, doesn't matter. When you get on board the ship, go to guest services and say, hey, see that, my sister? Can we put credit card A on there, credit card B on this one? And you're good to go. But when you do the check-in, Gail, you should get the option for the credit card, and you can separate it right then and there. But if you forget or whatever the case may be, don't worry about it. You can always change that on board the ship. Not to worry. Thank you also, Teresa, for pointing that out, because I completely forgot about that one. Let's see here. Next question. I'm trying to catch back up with where we were over here. These are wonderful questions tonight. John wants to know, if I get a Star Class room, does it come with unlimited dining? It does indeed. Yeah. So our Star Class room on an Oasis or Quantum Class ship comes with the unlimited dining package, comes with the unlimited drink package. So yeah, as much specialty restaurants as you would like. Luca wants to know, are there any special events during Easter? If your cruise is actually over Easter, yeah, there'll probably be some special events. Depends on the ship and the sailing. Can't promise you what they'd be, but in the past, there's been mass, midnight mass and other types of mass or whatever mass they do on Easter. So Sunday mass. There's been Easter egg hunts. There's been decorating stuff on there. So it really depends on the sailing, but usually there'll be something at least going on. Retired and working first-time cruisers headed to Oasis in 6 days. Go with a 9 to 15-year-old. Do you recommend pre-purchasing arcade credits? I don't. And the reason why, it's a good question, is because the arcade credits usually end up with a remainder. Like, you'll always it's hard to ever use up all your credits. You keep on buying more credits, and it's not worth it, in my opinion. You're better off simply going to the arcade, swiping the card for every game you want to play, and that way you'll never end up with wasted credits. So it's a good question. Let's see here. Keith Bruce, what do you think the chances are the Utopia will be from the US? I think in general, pretty darn good, Keith. I mean, yeah, I know what you're thinking. Maybe we'll go to Asia because Wonder didn't go there. It's too early to know about that, but I would just simply say there's always a good chance a new ship will debut from the US, quite frankly. We have another super chat coming in from Griff7533. Is every event listed in the compass, or are there still unlisted events you can stumble upon? I'm thinking of smaller events or offerings. Usually everything is in there, Griff. I mean, sometimes there's things added or changed after the compass is printed, obviously. But I would say, on average, everything that is happening is posted in the cruise compass right there. So thank you, Griff, for your generosity. Appreciate you. Holly wants to know, CVS's PCR rapid test and antigen are both accepted by Royal Caribbean? Yep. I would get the rapid antigen test, but yep, totally. If you're fully vaccinated, Holly, the answer is yes. If you have unvaccinated kids under the age of 12, then they must get a PCR test. So let's see here. DH says, I've heard an Oasis class ship may come to Australia in a new port called Eden. Do you think this is likely? It's possible. Certainly, it's not out of the it's not impossible, DH. In fact, Royal Caribbean has said so. It's just a matter of No, predicting the future. We're talking about things that have to really go really well over the next couple of years. And I think they would like to get an Oasis class down there, but it's not around the corner if that's what you're asking. But yes, I do think it is actually possible. Likely in whose lifetime is the better question. Paul wants to know, do points earned on celebrity and roller derby add on the Crown and Anchor? No. You can, it's kind of interesting, Paul. You can earn Crown and Anchor status. So if you have a status with Crown and Anchor Society, Celebrity will honor your status from Crown and Anchor and give you an equivalent status at Captain's Club. Similarly, if you had a status with Celebrity, didn't have status with Royal Caribbean, your Captain's Club status comes over to Crown and Anchor. Great. But as you cruise with one or the other, your point totals still remain at wherever they were beforehand. So you don't, as an example, Paul, if you're Diamond and Crown and Anchor and you match status in Celebrity, you don't get points added on from there. And no, you can't go on a random celebrity cruise and then add those points instead over to your Crown Anchor Society. It doesn't work that way. We have our next super chat coming in. It is from Amelia Amber. Thank you, Amelia, for the super chat. What's the fastest way to earn Crown and Anchor points? My girlfriend don't like cruises. I'll probably travel alone most of the time. Actually, that's to your advantage. I mean, I'm sure you love your girlfriend, but solo, you'll get double points and staying in suites. So either cruising by yourself or staying in a suite or both. If you stay by yourself in a junior suite or above, you will earn 3 points per night. So booking suites or staying in it or cruising by yourself is a surefire way to earn points the fastest. No question about it. Let's see here. Next question. Oh, there's Amelia's. I got ahead of the system right there. That's a first. Myra, first time cruiser on Royal Caribbean's A Waste of the Seas in the Bahamas in July. Do you have any advice on what to do in Nassau? I would say, Pearl Island or Blue Lagoon are two good excursions to book through Royal Caribbean. I would recommend that, quite frankly. Michael wants to know, if I have the unlimited dining package, can I order off the Chops menu in the main dining room? No, that's an exception. That does not count there. Christine wants to know, can you use a debit card rather than a credit card? You can, but be aware that sometimes there are holding charges that come across throughout the cruise. And depending on your debit card's limits, that may cause a problem for you. So I wouldn't recommend it, but yes, it is possible to do it. Just be aware of the issues right there. Marsha wants to know, why do you think the West Coast rarely will see a new ship sailing? It's not a primary market. It doesn't command the higher prices you can get in other places. So it's all about demand, quite frankly. I think that's why. We have a super chat coming in from the sysadmin. Wow. I swear, sysadmin, I didn't download that stuff you saw on there. Does the deluxe beverage package include the fancy coffees at the cafe? It does indeed. The lattes and macchiatos. And yeah, that's included as well. Yep. Good to go. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. CVS rapid test is working. I mean, the CVS rapid test, which is an antigen test for vaccinated adults, is acceptable. Yep. Absolutely. When cruising first started, that's where I went there. Nikki and Jay, best place to watch and play cards on Oasis. There is a card room you could go to. Some people like doing the library. You could go just pick out during the daytime, go to a bar, sit at one of the tables out there. And you can, for people watching, I would pick a table near the pub or Sorrento's or Bolero's. There's a lot of people watching on there, and there's no risk of like wind blowing your cards away. So that might be a really good idea right there. Kamar, where's Kamar? There it is. Camera man fail. These names are wonderful. Is it worth purchasing a suite on a 4-night cruise, which in many cases is the price of a 7-night cruise? I just did a suite on a 3-night cruise. And, when you're staying in a suite in general, it's not a question of, is every dollar I spend here going to be worth it in the sense I'm getting it all back in value? No, it's a splurge. It's a way to treat yourself. And so is it worth it? Well, I really like staying in a suite on a 3-night cruise. I definitely paid a lot more than I would have for a balcony, but I felt that it was worth it because we wanted to have a little something special. My wife was with me, no kids. You know what? We enjoy that. And that was a nice little splurge to do right there. So, obviously this comes down to your budget, right? What can you afford? And alternatively, if Josh Carruthers was here, Josh would say, you could probably take that money and book 2 different cruises. Now, if you can afford 2 cruises no matter what, okay, well, whatever. But, if it's the difference cameraman fail of, hey, I can afford either to do 1 cruise in a suite here on a 4-nighter or 2 cruises if I book balconies or something else, then I would do 2 cruises instead. So hope it makes sense. We have a super chat coming in from William. We got only a couple minutes left in this broadcast. Man, time flies. William, thank you for the super chat. Oh, there it is. There, I found your message, William. First cruise will be brilliant this season in December. Thanks for all the information you provide. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you. And it looks like by your photo, if that is you, thank you for your service. More importantly, KB, what's up, Kevin? Have you heard any reasons why Grand Bahama Port would be removed recently? That port had nothing to do in there. It was a really grungy, undeveloped port, and there just wasn't. Maybe that was what the reason was. Trust me. Let me put it this way: that'd be addition by subtraction if you didn't go there. So, can you use cash on the cruise? So you can use cash in the casino. You can obviously tip anybody in cash if you'd like to. But when you go and you order a drink or you go to the spa, you're using your CPass card. Now, granted, Dozier, you could go to guest services and deposit cash against that and use that as kind of your own little onboard credit, if you will. But the actual transactions need to be done with your CPass card. So we have a super chat coming in from Sue Lee. Sue, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Matt. Can I bring my Fire Stick and plug into the TV or stateroom to watch? Generally not. On most ships, first of all, the TV can sometimes be flush against the wall, and more importantly, the ports can be disabled. And on top of that, the remote doesn't have an input changer. So you could bring a universal remote and then plug in your stick, assuming you have access to those ports, and then change the input there. But then you have to buy a universal remote. It's a real pain in the butt. I say you're better off, Sue, just bring like an iPad or something like that and watch things on your device right there. Tony Diaz, thank you for the super chat, Tony. After coming back from a cruise, you look at your dinner and just shake your head. You call this dinner? And then I end up sleeping on the couch. What's up, Tony? We cruised together with Tony on Oasis of the Seas this past weekend. And the post-cruise blues recovery and adjustment period is a cruel mistress, Tony. You are not wrong about that one. Lewis wants to know, is there any weight limit to the baggage apart from the carry-on? There is not. Royal Caribbean, I think wording is like within reason. Like you can't bring like steamer luggage and it weighs like 1,000 pounds, but no, there's not gonna, if you're 50 pounds or 60 pounds, doesn't matter. The cruise lines don't have any restrictions on that. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. We have another super chat coming in from Danny DiMatteo. Thank you, Matt. 6 days till Harmony of the Seas. Thank you, Danny, for your generosity. Really appreciate you. And Larry is absolutely right. The post-cruise blues are helped by having another cruise booked right there. Fire Fist Luffy, great name. Can I bring 2 bottles of wine on board? Yes, bring it on embarkation day. No problem at all. And that's per stateroom, not per person. Canadian Gal, I hear Serenade's getting an upgrade. Is that true? No, she's getting a dry dock, which means she's getting like maintenance work done, but no new changes at Canadian Gal. So don't expect like water slides or new restaurants, just under the hood work, if that makes sense. Let's see. Next question is from, we got Stephen Z coming in with a super chat. Thank you, Stephen. Hey, Matt, great looking shirt. Do you get that on the ship? Yes, this is actually from the shop on board. It's you just go to the logo shop, and it was one of the polo shirts. I bought this before the pandemic, but I'm pretty sure they're still selling this on board. Jonathan, my wife's aunt and grandma are traveling with us, and when they did online check-in, one of them selected a check-in time. Now 2 or 3 at different times. How does Royal Caribbean handle this? Technically, they don't handle this. They'll say, well, your grandma's coming at a different time. That's not cool, obviously. My advice, Jonathan, is show up together. Hope the person doesn't care or no. This is what I would do. All of you show up together, put the early time on top of the paperwork, and then go from at that point. Ultimately, they could tell you, I'm sorry, you people need to wait until later on. But it's more like a your mileage may vary situation. I bet you'll probably be able to sneak in with the first person's booking right there. Hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Sharon Stockman with an epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Sharon. Thanks for all the info, Matt, and the time you spent making the blogs. You are very welcome, Sharon. Thank you for your generosity. Between Sharon and so many other people here who are here every single week, whether you're super chatting or not, does not matter to me. I appreciate you guys being here, being part of the crew, hanging out, talking, helping each other out really makes a big difference. And Jonathan Harmon, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Jonathan, but as always, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. And I think, guys, we're going to wrap it up with one more question here from John, who wants to know, is there a way to prepay a certain amount of money for the arcade for our kids to use during our cruise? There are arcade credits that you can pre-purchase before the cruise via the cruise planner website. That's probably your best bet. I don't recommend it because you can sometimes end up with a remainder balance, and then you're constantly chasing how to use up every single last credit. But that's the easiest way to do it. In the cruise planner website, you can pre-book it, and then you're good to go right there. So thank you, John. Thank you to everybody for checking out this week's live chat. I want to say thank you to our super chatter, Jonathan Harmon. Thank you for the super chat. Sharon, thank you. Stephen, thank you. Danny DiMatteo, thank you. Vader Stock sneaking in with a super chat at the last minute. Thank you, Vader Stock, in advance. Thank you, Sue Lee, Danny DiMatteo, thank you. Tony, thank you. William, thank you. Sis Admin, thank you. Amelia, thank you. Griff, thank you. Matt Hatter, thank you. Jen, thank you. Gail, thank you. Ariel, thank you. Nikki and Jay, thank you. Sierra, thank you. Gary Miola Jr., thank you. Larry Rickman, thank you. Dave, thank you very much. Amelia, thank you. Jude, thank you. KSL, thank you. Barbara, thank you. Nicole, thank you. Betty Eakin, thank you. Tim, thank you. Phoebe, thank you. Brett Brown, thank you so much. Daryl, thank you. Scary, thank you. Maria, thank you. Teresa, thank you. Anal, thank you. Eric, thank you. Susan, thank you. Kristen, thank you. Ken, thank you. Joshua, thank you. Kay, thank you. Horatio, thank you. Ainsley, thank you. Kathy, thank you. Eric, thank you. Carrie, thank you. Josh, thank you. And Grumpy and V, thank you so much. And Vader Stock, I don't see a message from you. So I think you just maybe sent me a super chat at the very end, which I appreciate. I'm looking to see if there was a message there. I'm looking. What's your favorite ship? Wonder of the Seas. That's not the question. Well, I don't see a message here, but Vader Stock, thank you so much for your generosity right there last minute. Really appreciate it. We'll be live again next Monday right here on YouTube. If you have more questions, please feel free to type your questions over on our message boards at royalcaribbeanblog.com. Until our next live broadcast, thank you, everybody, for joining us here. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. That's important as well. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.